Hello, my name is Clancy Moody. This is the second week of Programming for Industry 4.0 assignment. We're going to do, first part is assign a text string to a variable, print the string, then change the value of the variable with the new string and print the message. So I saved us a little bit of time. I already got both strings ready to go. So in order to do this, you go into your print function here. We're going to go in first string, boom, and then when we run it, down here it says I'm number 1, so it printed the first string. Now we're going to go ahead and change it. So now we're going to go second string. Nice and handy, like it's been pointed out, how it brings up the quick fill. Run it. Now it's my turn. So something I noticed when I was setting this up, if I wanted to just have these variables in here for later, if I use the hashtag, once it goes in here, obviously it's not going to work because it doesn't see it, but I also noticed that it won't even let you quick fill. So there's first, second doesn't show up. So I thought that was kind of neat. So put that back in there. And it'll run, there's first. We can undo this. Put second in here again. Print it again. Okay. So now we're going to go to part 2. This had said use a variable first to store a string, and print a separate text string from a different variable second, using the first variable embedded in the second string. Alright, so I know there's 2 ways to do this. I'm sure there's more, and I just want to hit these 2. So the first one I think is a double embed, and I got no problem. Somebody can happily be corrected. Learning is learning. So first thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to hashtag the second one out, so it just doesn't exist for a second, so we can see what the first setup I have. I think technically this is just calling 2 variables, so there's no true embed. So we're going to run this one, boom, there it is, it's a turducken. Okay, cool. So then I'm going to hashtag this one out, and take this hashtag away, so this one. So this one I think is what was actually being asked for. So here's the second variable. It's not that hard, and then what it's going to do, it's going to call this first variable in there. And to me this feels more like an embed. I know there's also ways, this is an embed with a comma. I know there's ways to do it with other symbols, so that's something for me to keep my eyes open for in the future. Different ways to do the same thing. So let's run this one now. Boom. It's not hard to make a turducken. Alright, so there's your variables, embeds. I'm sure there's a ton of other ways to do it. Those are 2 that I found that I'm comfortable with. And please correct me if this second one and first one isn't what it means to be. Like honestly, I don't feel so comfortable calling this one it now. But this second one where it's a string and then you call in, that feels more like what it was asking for. You can get more complicated with, you can pull lists and neat things like that. For the final part, here's the math. So we're going to use Python to calculate 3 plus 2 times 9 minus 5 plus 10 to that. That's actually supposed to be a 10 to the 9th. Okay, good. Don't want people to think that might have not been right. Okay, so corrected that with a little caret. And then, so when we do that, the computer actually knows what way it's supposed to do this. So it knows that your PEMDAS, so it knows this, oops, don't do that, don't change things, okay. So it knows that your order of operations, so it does your exponent and your PEMDAS, so it does parentheses. There's nothing inside this formula that has parentheses right now. Your exponents, which is this 2 to the 9th, boom. Then it does your multiplication division, so here's your multiplication, and then your addition and subtraction. So we can, if we want to go in here, put all the other stuff. You can put some brackets in here, and that's the only way you can do this. But when you start adding things, the computer does what it told. So if you don't know what the math's doing, you can mess it up by adding things and taking things out. You really need to know what the formula is and how a computer looks at the formula. So anyway, without any further ado, we're going to run this. We're going to Control B, boom. 528, and I have actually, we can test this. Where'd you go, little calculator? Bam, because I unfortunately have way too many calculators because I take way too many math classes. So we're going to put it in. We're going to go Add a calculator. We're going to go 3. Actually, we're going to go here. Calculate. There we go. We're going to go 3 plus 2 times 9 minus 5 plus 2 to the 9th. Enter. 528. Bam. Okay, cool. So we're going to hashtag this bad boy out. We're going to bring this one up. And we're going to print it. Okay, 699,999 and 8. Okay. So this one, we round that to 700. Because when you come in here, boom, you divide that by 1 to the, not 1, sorry, excuse me, point to the 3rd. Okay. Hit enter, rounds up to 7. The very expensive calculator rounds up to 700. So if we want to break this down, just to make sure, so you have 0.1 to the 3rd, so that equals that. And then you have, well, you have 0.7. So you have 0.7 divided by 0.001, boom, 700. Okay, there you go. 2 different ways, shows you it's right. It's one of those cool little calculator computer math things. Boom. So anyway, that was a quick rundown of this week. Again, assign text strings to variables, then swap them out. That seemed like a very manual request. You just wanted to do one and then the other. I saved us a little bit of time. We type that in. You type it in. Boom. You could just change it up here. Left with 1. All kinds of neat things. Then this one, you wanted to use a variable again. First variable is turducken. It's like a, so I kind of brute force those again. Now that I've said it out loud and thought about it a whole bunch, now I'm not thinking that's what it was. So I'm going to go with the second one. You know, we got this text variable right here that's inside the print, and then it calls to a first. We could also do the, you know, keep adding to them. First can also be lists, so if you're doing other things, you can pull in from that way. And then the math. Again, the math, you got to know how to talk to the computer. Most of it's pretty straightforward until you get to your exponential functions, and you get the little double asterisks. So there it is, double checked with the calculator, good to go. Thank you, and again, my name is Clancy Moody, and this has been Programming for Industry 4.0 Week 2.